Josh Warrington dominates, drops, and stops Patrick Hyland in the 9th round. This was a pretty dominant performance from Josh Warrington. He did what he had to do. He got the stoppage, which is always nice for a guy with so few KOs on his record as Warrington. I'm not sure exactly how many KOs he's got now. I think it might be 4. I'm serious. I'm not being facetious. I think he's got about 4 KOs now, 4 or 5 maybe, in 20 fights or 20 something fights. So it's nice to get stoppages when you're not known for getting stoppages. Like Paulie Malignaggi, for example. He was always very happy when he would get a stoppage. So Warrington will now go on to fight for a version of the featherweight world title. That's what it's looking like. And the title they're most likely going to go for, or the champion they're most likely going to go for, is Gary Russell Jr. Now, I don't see Josh Warrington having a great chance against Russell Jr. I have to be honest. But obviously he has to go for it. He's a fighter. This is what he's in the business for. So good luck to him. But just looking at it objectively, the one thing Russell Jr. does struggle with, I think, is movement. Lomachenko proved that. So obviously Josh Warrington needs to be fighting a kind of fight against Russell Jr. where he stays the hell away from Russell Jr. because he's taller than Russell Jr. I think Warrington's like 5'7". Gary Russell Jr. is about, I think, 5'3", 5'4", somewhere around there. So Warrington's going to have a few inches on height on him. And he's just going to need to just use his height, use movement, stay away from him. Don't stand in front of him and engage, because that's something that Warrington likes to do. He likes to stand in the pocket and swap body shots, and he hunches over at times and exchanges on the inside. You want to avoid doing that with Russell Jr. Russell Jr. has good power. He's got incredibly fast hands. Blistering combination puncher. You don't want to stand with him at all. So Warrington and his team need to formulate some type of game plan where they're just going to move around Gary Russell Jr. and not engage him at any time, really. Now, yeah, as I say, Russell Jr. struggles with movement. He has incredibly fast hands, but his feet are relatively slow. Also, he does suffer from very brittle hands, Russell Jr. That's why he's not been very active. He's been professional for several years and hasn't had that many fights during that time because of the fact that he's had so much trouble with his hands. I mean, he's a featherweight, but in some of his training footage, you can see him training in like 20-ounce gloves because his hands are that brittle. So that's something, I mean, I don't know how you would exploit something like that, particularly with a guy who's as fast-handed as Russell, but if you can hope to try and catch your elbow in Russell's gloves, put your elbow in the way of his shots or whatever, do it. Any way you can hurt his hands, try and do it. Get him to hit your forehead if you have to take a shot. Tuck up nice and tight and make sure the shots are landing on your forehead rather than in your face or on your chin. Do what you can do. But all things considered, I'd be very surprised if Josh Warrington was able to beat Gary Russell Jr. But stranger things have happened, and as I say, Russell Jr.'s got his flaws like all fighters have. And if Josh Warrington pulls off the correct game plan, you never know. Maybe he might be able to spring the upset. Anyway, it was a good performance against Hyland tonight. He did what he had to do, scored a stoppage, was dominant. So let me know what you felt about Warrington's performance. And where do you see him going forward from here? How do you see him doing against Gary Russell Jr. or any of the other champions in the featherweight division? Drop your comments in the comment section below, people. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.